Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Buckeyes and Beyond. This is our second episode, still in its infancy, trying to get everything just how we want it and formatted and produced the way we want it. Still in the early stages. Thanks again for listening. If it's your first episode, thanks for checking us out. Give us a subscribe and check out our Twitter page. You can find us Buckeyes and Beyond or at Beyond Buckeyes. I'm your co-host, Jeff, along with fellow co-host here, Mike.
Hello, everybody. What's going on?
We're going to cover a few different topics. Not sure how long we'll go. End up going maybe an hour, but we'll go over a lot of different stuff here. Have some fun with it. And again, we're just a couple guys in Columbus, Ohio that love Ohio State Buckeye football and basketball, actually. We might eventually get into some basketball later on.
Yeah.
Once we kind of get more into college football off season. But we might touch on some NCAA basketball and Ohio State especially.
Yeah, we would have a lot to actually talk about even now, considering that just absolute horrible performance that they had against Wisconsin. But
yeah, they had to... They succumbed to the Wisconsin tempo, hanging around 50 points, which probably isn't going to be Ohio State style. No. But
Kyle Young didn't play though, so
yeah. So you lose a key defender down there. But anyway, we're starting to now.
No,
we're not.
We're not doing that yet. Okay,
no, we're going into a breakdown unintentionally. So so anyway, January 5th, we're going to try to do this weekly every Sunday, and. So we're going to get into some topics here. We'll start off with bowl game recaps. January 1st bowl games, just some of the bigger ones that were probably more interesting to Ohio State fans. And the first one, I guess we'll go with. I just pulled them all up here. We'll just go hit like Memphis and Penn State.
Yeah.
Which was a crazy.
That was a nutty game, dude.
Crazy shootout. Yeah. If you bet the over, you definitely won.
You made some hard cash, man. If you bet the over on that one, that's nuts.
53-39, Penn State final. Penn State ran for almost 400 yards
that's
on
insane,
Memphis.
Insane, man.
I mean, I'm not sure. Memphis had zero run defense.
Yeah, it was. So when I was watching it, I was actually flipping back and forth between that and something else. I can't remember which game, but. Every time that I would flip back, Penn State was just running at will against them, man. I don't think they even threw the ball that often. I don't know what he was 11 of 20 for 133. Yeah, I mean, they didn't really throw it that often.
No, you can tell their game plan going in was just to pound the rock.
Yeah.
Journey Brown, 16 carries for 202. He's really good.
Yeah, he's actually going to be, I think he's a true freshman, right? Or is he a red shirt?
Let's check it out.
Yeah, I don't know if he's...
Journey Brown ran for... They had another guy, Noah Kane, run for 92. Journey Brown is a sophomore, true sophomore.
Okay, yeah. So, but still, he's going to be around for at least one more year. He may give the Buckeyes some fits next year. So
he gave him a couple fits in that game we played him. So,
he's a really good back.
Journey Brown.
That's a really good name too,
Journey Brown from Meadville, Pennsylvania. That's my Keith Jackson.
There you go. That's a good Keith Jackson. I can go with that one. I just always hear from the banks of the Olentangy with Keith Jackson.
On the banks of the Olentangy. So I mean, they didn't even have to use KJ Hamler. He was like a non-factor, and they still
2 catches for 46 yards. That's insane. And so I was actually thinking about it too. I wonder if Memphis would have played better if their coach hadn't bolted for Florida State. And I can't even think of his name off the top of my head. Their coach's name that actually got the job at Florida State. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But I kind of wonder if they would have played better had he been there for that game.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm never a fan of that, of coaches getting a job and then just automatically bolting for the place where they were hired. To me, it's a real, I don't know what word I would want to use, but it's just so rude, I guess. It just,
Mike Norville.
Norville, yeah. So
here is it always still blows my mind. I was born in 78. I'm 41 years old, and this guy is younger than me.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're getting younger and younger, man, to become a head coach.
Full salt and pepper hair. This is Mike Norvell.
Yeah, Mike Norvell. So I wonder if he would have been there, if the game would have been a little bit closer. I'm not sure what his background is, if he's a offensive guy or if he's a defensive guy. I have no idea.
Sure.
But
it seems like anymore everyone's a former OC offensive genius, but yeah. I'm not sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, Penn State looked really good. And now give Memphis some credit. I mean, they scored 39 points. That's that's no easy task.
Their quarterback Brady White,
who I really like, man. I think he is going to play some pro ball.
Kid's a junior, 6'3", 215, out of California. Brady White might be one to watch.
Yeah,
going into the 2021 draft.
Yeah, I don't think he would leave right now.
No. Yeah, I don't think he's on anyone's radar, truly on the radar. But he threw for 454 on Penn State. I mean, he
didn't throw for any touchdowns, though. That's weird.
I'm not sure if they're like Washington State, like a Leach type offense or not.
They could be.
Yeah, but still.
Well, he threw for 454, but his average was only 8.9 per. So I mean, they were running a lot of short routes. It looks like so.
He threw 2 picks, so it's a bummer.
Yeah, but the Big Ten does get that win. Yeah. It was a solid game to watch. It was fun, entertaining.
Yeah. So representing Big Ten, Penn State, nice little win for to end their season. Anytime whoever you win against in a bowl. So. Let's move on to, let's just keep rolling through Big Ten. Well, we'll take a break for the Big Ten. Let's go Georgia, Baylor.
Yeah, this game, well, first of all, it was the last game of New Year's Day, and it was, like 8:30 start time or something, and I started it, and to be honest, I lost interest because it was a boring game to watch for the most part, but I stuck with it probably midway through the third, and then I just kind of lost interest.
Yeah, Baylor, it seems like they have a pretty solid, like, disciplined team. Matt Rule's done this. He's maximized everything that they could possibly be, and I mean,
it's okay. So
they won 11 games this year, but still, they just kind of fall short on in some areas, and they don't stand a chance. I mean, it seemed like Georgia they didn't even have DeAndre Swift, and they kind of dominated them 19-0 at halftime.
It's funny that you actually say that, because I did actually write some notes down for each game, and one of my notes for Baylor was, who knows who they are? You never know who they are, if they're really that good, or if they've even hit their ceiling yet. You just don't know.
Yeah, because under Briles, Art Briles, the previous coach, they had like a spread. They kind of had some sort of identity. I mean, they didn't have a defense worth anything.
No, their defense was garbage.
But RG3 was there. I mean, they had a Theismann.
Corey Coleman played there, which, he was great in college. He didn't equate to anything in the pros, but
yeah, they had some guys come out of there. They had some NFL talent. But, Matt Rule is just kind of. I mean, what's it? Matt Rule's like third season there.
It's his third season. The first season he didn't do anything because they were coming off of that. Because of Briles, they were actually coming off of. I don't know if were they officially sanctioned by the NCAA, or was that all done in house by Baylor? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but
it's not even worth looking at.
Yeah, no, it's not even worth looking at. But they were crap, and then he came in there. Now, what he's done is outstanding. In fact, he's even got his name put out there for a lot of jobs in the NFL now. In fact, I believe he actually turned down the Browns' request to even talk to him. So
Matt Rule's a New York guy.
Oh, okay.
So he has a lot of ties. He grew up in Brooklyn, Bronx, something like that. He. Somewhere in one of the 5 boroughs. Right. So he's like kind of like he has a fondness for the Giants, particularly.
Well, so he could be just.
I mean,
I think he is a really good coach. I mean, to do what he's done there, you can't help but just notice how good of a coach he is. I mean, to be able to turn that program back into what they are now. Yeah. But we don't know if they've actually hit their ceiling, if that's all that they're ever going to be, so.
And Baylor's quarterback, Charlie Brewer, who's, he's okay. He's kind of a game manager type.
Yeah.
But he got knocked out hard, and I think he has a history of concussions.
Yeah, he actually got knocked out of a game. I think it was the Big 12 title game or the first game that they played against Oklahoma. I think he got knocked out of one of those games. So
yeah, he got knocked out of this one with 8 minutes to go, and it was 26-14 at the time. So it was kind of like, ooh, that sucks. But it was a late hit out of bounds. It wasn't particularly dirty.
Okay.
He was getting tackled out of bounds. Another guy came in, kind of finished it off. He kind of came in hands first. It wasn't like he got speared or anything, but still, it was just kind of like I think he hit his head on the turf, falling kind of backwards.
It's still a nasty fall to take.
Yeah, they called a 15-yarder on him. But after that, I think I've seen Baylor put other guys in behind him, the backups, and they were very bad.
Yeah, well, the one game that he did go out, the one that I was watching, and again, I can't remember if it was the title game or if it was just the first game that they played against Oklahoma. Their backup did actually come in and play well for like a couple series, and then he showed who he actually was.
Yeah, I think I saw that too, where it was like, oh, it's not bad, and it was just like 180, like the next series. Like, whoa. So yeah, Georgia wins 26-14. Georgia finishes. They were number 5 in the country. Finished 12-2. Baylor was 7th, 11-3. They finished 11-3 on the year. So we'll see what happens with Baylor in the offseason. And Georgia's got a good class coming in.
Yeah, they got a real good class.
So I think they got another stud running back coming in. And DeAndre Swift announced he's leaving for the NFL. So
that just makes sense.
Yeah. So and McKiper has him as number 1 rated running back. I was like, I like him. But I don't know. That's Kiper. It's just one guy's opinion.
I mean, Kiper is so. I mean, I like the guy. He's fun to watch, but he's so. I mean, he's not really all that accurate on his picks.
Yeah,
but,
he's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on, Oregon, Wisconsin. Oregon
this one was
winning.
Tough to watch.
Oregon won 28-27. This game was this was difficult. I feel bad for Wisconsin, but they kind of just did it to themselves. I don't want to say not like Ohio State, but
they had some serious self-inflicted wounds, though.
Yeah,
they really couldn't.
They got into a thing in this game where they wanted to run that jet sweep.
Yeah, they're so predictable with that jet sweep, and they've been doing that for years too. I mean, in fact, who was the guy who played for him? I think his first name was Jazz. This was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But they used to run it with him all the time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to see who all. I can't. So they had Jonathan Taylor, running back. Obviously, he's running back. So you had 21 carries, 94 yards. Danny Davis. So let's see. Jack Cohn, quarterback. So it's like 2, 5.
Yeah.
I mean, they potentially had like almost 10 carries for wide receivers, which is really weird.
Yeah, and it's all on those jet sweeps.
And it's hard to do when because they were trying to run in some heavy traffic around the edge, and so it was like 10 carries, and I mean they
didn't really even amount to that much too. I mean, the largest carry was probably Danny Davis because he had 2 for 19 yards, and everyone else had very little. So the jet sweep, at least in this game, didn't even really amount to much. I mean, I don't know why they were using it. I mean, sometimes they use it as a decoy too. So, I mean, they probably have to hand it off a number of times in order to fool somebody into thinking that it is going to work, but it still doesn't even really amount to much. I don't know why they continue to do it.
Yeah, so it's like I think they had let's see, how many fumbles did they have in this game?
I think
it seemed like they had.
Jonathan Taylor had at least 2 that I can remember, I think.
They lost 3 fumbles.
Yeah, that's...
And Cohn threw an interception. I knew one of the fumbles was one of the oddest ones you'll see is the punter.
Yeah, the punter, it was
such an odd fumble. It's like, did the punter have money on Oregon?
Somebody should probably check into his, check in to see what he was doing with that, because that was... I've never seen a punter just drop the ball as he's going to kick it. I can't say that I've never seen it, but the way that he did it,
it wasn't like the one if you remember the Michigan State punter, like he just kind of like didn't catch it.
Right.
This one was like he caught it and then he goes to extend like to drop kick punt the ball, and the ball just like kind of went like when he dropped it, he almost like tossed it.
Yeah, it just like went out in front of him by like 2 or 3 yards.
He thought his leg for a moment was like 5 feet long.
Go gadget leg.
Yeah. It's like full extension. Like, nope, you just gave it to the other team.
Yeah.
And Oregon just returned that sucker like all the way back. Yeah. That was a really bad momentum swing.
Yeah, that was
right after halftime. If I remember.
Yeah, that was their opening drive in the third quarter.
Yeah, so it was bad enough, and they were in their own territory. So it was bad enough they didn't get anything going on that first drive after halftime.
No,
and it was another thing to give up an easy score.
Yeah. Can I transition into something here that I wanted to ask you? So one of the notes that I wanted to put down here too is, does Wisconsin need to update their offense? There's still that power run offense, and they've been that way forever, and they've been moderately successful for all these years in that. Do they need to try to transition into a spread like everyone else is doing to even compete in the Big Ten? I mean, the Big Ten West is pretty much garbage. So they could probably win the West and still stay in that offense, but
yeah, I mean, their head coach is an offensive guy.
Yeah,
and he's old school offensive guy.
I know.
So I mean,
it would almost take him having to break his, his own traditions in order to do that. But it's something to really think about if you are Wisconsin, because I would say 90% of everybody in college football in college football now runs some version of a spread. Even that team up north finally decided to go out of what they were doing and run somewhat of a spread offense. So
it's going to take a lot of pressure from the fan base, alumni. I don't know who to get.
Something I actually this is something I didn't actually think about too. Is Barry Alvarez is still the AD in Wisconsin? He's the same mindset probably as Chris.
Yeah.
So that's probably even going to make it harder for him to.
Yeah, I think Barry would have to put pressure on, but it's like, is that really going to come from Barry?
Yeah.
Is Barry going to go, you know what? Yeah, we really, we need to recruit a, Lamar Jackson type quarterback.
Yeah, I'm just, it was just a thought that ran through my head whenever I was watching the game, thinking, man, I bet if they ran some form of a spread, they would have a real legitimate shot to beat us or Penn State, But I mean. And I'm not trying to say that Wisconsin is not good at what they do. They absolutely are. And they were a top 10 team this year, and they still stay in that power I. So it works for them. I just always wonder if at some point they're just going to update their offense.
Yeah, I was trying to find something on here that cracked me up. It's a guy, Big Cat, who co-hosts Part of My Take for Barstool Sports. He's a Wisconsin alum, and he had a really funny thing. He just kind of like, he's disappointed every year with Wisconsin, but he's like trying to come to grips with what they are.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. I was trying to find, it's basically like, we all know what Wisconsin's going to do. They're going to start off, they're going to play a soft schedule. They got the Big Ten West that's super soft, and they're going to like just, pad their record with that. And then they're going to lose to somebody they shouldn't lose to. Whether it's like Illinois this year, Nebraska, Purdue. They're going to lose somebody they want to. And then we're all going to lose, Wisconsin fans are going to lose hope. Then they're going to make another little run, and then they're going to lose to Ohio State. It's like, but they're going to squeak into that Big Ten championship game because that soft ass Big Ten West.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, then we're going to maybe we might get 10 wins, and we'll play a bowl game and be competitive, and it's going to be 9-3, 10-2 every year. Like they'll never crack the college football playoff. Like
that's
ever.
Yeah. I mean that's their standard typical season. That is exactly it. They never really are going to actually amount to much outside of the Big Ten West.
Yeah. So Oregon finished the season 12-2. Wisconsin finishes 10-4. They got their 10. They made it to the they played Ohio State tough.
Yeah.
I mean they weren't going to go out like chumps.
No.
So Jack Cohn went out like a chump on that last play, but
he's the typical Wisconsin quarterback. He's a game manager. They don't ask him to do too much, and he always throws a pick at the wrong time.
Yeah. So I think he's a little bit of a step up. I want to say.
Well, he's a step up from Hornibrook, who was there prior to him.
My gosh, you can name all those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 18 interceptions, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 2,700 yards.
No, that's actually not bad. That actually is much better than what they usually do. Who was the quarterback in the 56-0 shellacking that we gave him? I can't even think of his name off the top of my head now. But those are your standard Wisconsin quarterbacks. So
you know what's crazy is like you think about like how offense has changed. Well, they also play an extra game in there too, but just still like so. Troy Smith, the 2006, the year he won the Heisman, threw for 2,500 and some yards. And Jack Cohn threw for 2,700 this year.
I think Troy made a little bit more. I
know, but it's still just
it's just strange.
Sheer passing yards.
It's
kind of just times have changed and
2,500 yards, and I wonder how many of those yards were actually all Ginn for. I mean, I think Ginn had like 1,200 yards that year. It's insane.
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez in there Anthony Gonzalez, who's actually a politician now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So we'll move on. Move on to Minnesota, Auburn. Auburn was number 12. Minnesota, number 18. Auburn, had a 9-3 record going into this. Minnesota, 11-2. But 10-2. 10-2 going into this. Just give it away. But Minnesota won 31-24. In a game that it's like, I didn't.
This one was a really fun game to watch. This was probably my favorite game to watch on New Year's Day. It was the best game because I really wanted Minnesota to win this game, not just for the sake of the conference, but just because I really like PJ Fleck. I think that guy's a superb coach. He's a superb human being. He's just
he gets a lot of credit for being a motivator, and not so much like an X's and O's guy. So it was kind of interesting to see what kind of game plan he'd come out with, if he could, out-coach Malzahn, Gus Malzahn, and, see what, Big Ten SEC, kind of got a middle-of-the-road-ish history of middle-of-the-road, bottom-barrel guy, the program that's come up here recently, just with PJ Fleck. And, because Minnesota's usually 6-6.
Minnesota,
7-5-ish.
They're usually in some sort of ridiculous bowl that starts at on December the 19th. They're usually in some
Weed Eater.
Right. Cheez-It Bowl or something, which is actually a real bowl now. It's insane.
Yeah.
But no, I was thoroughly impressed with what Minnesota did, man. Just a couple of notes that I took. Their run defense against Auburn. I know they scored 24 points, but if you watch the game, they did a real nice job of containing Auburn's run game.
See, Jatarvius Whitlow, they always call him Booby Whitlow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He only ran 9 times. It's like they got down. No, he really didn't get down there. So, it's like, what is Malzahn doing?
They actually, it seems like they went away from what.
Yeah, he only had 9 carries for 24 yards. Booby Whitlow is, I can't say Jatarvius. He's, no world beater, but he ran for almost 800 this year.
Yeah, I think a lot of, and I don't know what Bo Nix ran for, but, 6 for 12. Minnesota's run D was really good, which is what you have to do against Auburn. You have to stop the run, and they did that. So,
it's like Auburn scored 48, although they had 2 pick sixes.
Yes,
against
Alabama. So that's what really gave him the win, was the 2 pick sixes thrown by Mac Jones in that game.
Yeah, Booby Whitlow ran for over 100. So they were running it much better against Alabama. They ran for 181 in that one.
Yeah.
So they ran 34 times.
Are we saying that Minnesota's run defense is better than Alabama's run defense?
We're saying the Golden Gophers are better than the Crimson Tide. It's just, you play, just do the math.
Yeah.
It's easy.
But I was really impressed with their run defense, and I thought that was the key to the whole game was, what they were able to do there.
And ESPN and, all the analysts, I mean, they talked up Auburn's defense. They talked them up. Like, I don't know. Because, I mean, I think they get hung up on the kid, the defensive tackle. Brown. Yeah. I mean, he's really good.
Oh, yeah. That kid's a stud.
But, they double him up. I mean, somebody else has to beat him on that line. And it didn't happen against Minnesota. Tanner Morgan threw for 278. Muhammad Ibrahim ran for 140. Tyler Johnson, he's starting to.
Tyler Johnson is a pro wide receiver. That kid is going to be,
and he's a senior.
Yeah,
he's coming out. He had 200 receiving yards. He had 86 for 1,300 this year.
He also had one of the best catches I've seen. In fact, I put it up on our Twitter page that same day. That one-handed catch in the back back of the end zone where he was still able to get a foot down. He's really good. He's going to have a very nice NFL career.
So congratulations to Minnesota pulling that thing off. I mean, that's a big boost for them. Big boost to their program to see if they can keep it going next year.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what's Minnesota got for? What if they show their schedule for next? No, they don't. ESPN, you suck. Okay. All right. I like ESPN's box scores, but like anything other than that, it's like kind of like, can't drill into. They don't have anything ready for like the next year. All right, so moving on. Michigan, Alabama, Michigan.
This, it's always hard to root for Michigan, but you do want to see the conference do well, and you would like to have seen them stick it to Alabama, but I think you and I both picked them to win this game. So I mean, it wasn't anything that we thought would actually happen.
Yeah, so. Alabama wins 35-16. Close game at halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, Michigan was up 16-14 at halftime. Yeah. And Saban made more adjustments, better adjustments, and Michigan didn't. And Michigan got shut out in the second half. That is a shame.
Yeah. Just a couple notes that I took from it. I came away really impressed with Mac Jones. I think if, Tua's probably going to leave, I would guess. Yeah. And they're going to be fine with, Mac Jones is a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
So,
16 of 25, 327, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Najee Harris was a beast.
Yeah.
24 carries for 136. Michigan couldn't stop a nosebleed. They were just getting destroyed.
Yeah. I think the difference between the first and the second half, and Saban even mentioned it during his halftime interview, is Alabama remembered how to actually tackle somebody.
They weren't tackling very well at all. They looked a little soft, a little finesse in the first half. Yeah, I mean, Charbonnet. How do you pronounce it? Yeah, Charbonnet.
Charbonnet, yeah.
He had 13 carries for Michigan. The 13 carries, 84. Hassan Haskins. I mean, I think a lot of that was in the first half.
It definitely was,
I don't have a breakdown first half or second half, but I'm sure a lot of this. Shea Patterson was under 50% passing, so he had 2 picks. He did not look good at times.
No, it's the same story with Michigan, and that transitions into my question for you. Has Harbaugh hit his ceiling as a college football coach? I think that he has.
What year is he in? 4?
5. This is year 5.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think, I don't know how much sense this makes, but I mean, it comes from a legend. So like Larry Bird, when he went to coach the NBA,
right?
He said that if you can't get your guys to compete on a championship level by the end of year 3,
stop.
Like he's like, you should have been able to. That's in the pros, but say even a bigger cushion, like say 5 for college. He's like saying if you can't establish like a culture, if you can't establish like expectations and max potential, the roster like that you established, it's like by the end of the year 3, say it's 5 in college, like you that's probably it. Like you probably peaked.
Which is like what I think that they have done. Now, does Michigan need to fire him? I think so, but they they clearly won't, because he's their guy. They put all this money in him, and they still want to believe in him, even though he's clearly done nothing to,
Right.
you know, I mean, I don't know what the actual numbers are, but his record in big games is just atrocious. He can't win a big game when he is a underdog. He's got a horrible record. I mean, they feast on the weak Big Ten teams. I mean, they bludgeon them.
Yeah.
And then they play us, they play Wisconsin, they play Penn State, they play a big bowl game, and they absolutely crap their pants. They don't know what to do. So,
yeah. And if you guys have never heard Mike Valenti in Detroit radio, he's 97 The Ticket in Detroit. You can check out some of his stuff on YouTube. That's probably the easiest place. If you search like Mike Valenti, Valenti, Michigan, Ohio State, or just Michigan State. If you just like try to search your way through there, some of his rants on Michigan, they're classic. They're great.
He's incredible. And just so you know, he hates Michigan because he's a Michigan State grad. So he hates them, but he doesn't. I mean, he speaks the absolute truth. Yeah,
he's fair.
He's absolutely fair.
Yeah. He's not just like trolling.
No, he is not a troller. He just speaks the truth. He says what nobody else will about Michigan up there. So
yeah, he's pretty much like, you know, you wouldn't hear this sort of thing on ESPN radio, or like it's almost kind of like maybe this is why he's not a national guy yet.
Right.
He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He's just kind of like hits you, hits. Not like Bayless or
he's not
Stephen A. Like he's just not you know, amplifying his voice just for like
he's very honest, he's very fair, and he's actually very funny too.
Yeah, very funny. He calls Harbaugh John Cooper in retro glasses.
Which is the best analogy I've ever heard when it comes to
John Cooper in retro glasses.
It's great.
That's great. Yeah, so anyway, Michigan takes a hit there, and finished 9-4. I don't know where they dropped. They probably, I guess they don't have those final rankings until after the
national championship.
Yeah, national championship. So
they're probably going to finish in the top 20, I would guess.
Yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones he's going to leave for the draft. He had one catch for 35 yards in that game, and he's leaving. I know ESPN and Kuiper had him ranked as like the 10th wide receiver in this class. This wide receiver class is deep.
It's really deep. I don't know if he's the 10th best wide receiver in this class. I mean, I think you and I were actually texting about it last night. I think he's probably a third round guy at best. I could even see him slip into fourth or fifth round. So
yeah, I mean, I think he's got, it's just, I guess.
I mean, now if he has a really good combine, really good workout, then sure. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's like kind of depends on that 40. It's kind of depends. I mean.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's not like he had like NFL quarterbacks at.
No, that's
Michigan,
true.
So it's kind of hard to project. I mean, you kind of project him low, and he can only impress from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on to. So I guess we'll move on. We'll just say, the aftermath.
Yeah.
I was kind of like in a daze about the Fiesta Bowl in a weird way, like a weird daze, like the morning after. I was tired. I don't know. Our podcast came out good. Our episode came out good, but it's still kind of like you're like trying to. It's like the 7 stages of grief. So I mean, we're trying to
we are now into full blown acceptance. we have accepted the loss and we're ready to move on.
So I mean, it doesn't make you. So they came out. I think it was some officiating. Let's say officiating groups.
Aficionados would be a word, but
yes, but almost like official officiating committees and groups and like associations and stuff like that came out and then said that catch and fumble was a catch and fumble.
It's been clearly a catch.
And that was called incomplete. It was returned back by Jordan Fuller. That would have gave us a lead.
And serious momentum.
Yeah, serious
momentum. By the way, did you see that Clemson has made T-shirts that say, "It was not a catch"? Yeah, they have made T-shirts and are selling them online that says, "It was not a catch."
Which is like the weirdest T-shirt. Hopefully that's like a sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
I mean, like to go and say, have a T-shirt that basically says incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's actually what the T-shirt says. It's
not like it was like, yeah. It's like he went like it was a touchdown. It was a touchdown.
Yeah,
it's
no,
like, it was not a graphic of a catch or something like that to say he didn't even catch it.
It's just
like,
strange.
It's not
strange.
A T-shirt. Not a T-shirt that pops. Incomplete pass, man.
See, we can actually do something wrong. See what we did.
So it's like, does an officiating committee group authority coming out and saying that, hey,
guess what?
Those officials that game really blew it.
Yeah.
Does that even make us feel better?
No, I mean, I suppose in some small sense it sort of gives you some sort of justification, but it doesn't change anything that happens.
Yeah,
so.
It's not like they say, hey, you know what, Clemson, you're not going to be playing LSU.
Yeah.
Let's just wrong.
It's not like they are going to make us come back and start at that point in the game, and then they're going to give us the touchdown. All right, now start.
Do over.
We don't get we don't get a mulligan for that one. So
we just got to move on. So it is what it is. We had a lot of guys announce, not a lot, but we have a few guys that announced they're leaving early. Chase Young,
of course, that's not a real big shock.
He'd be stupid if he stayed.
Yeah,
basically. I mean, you gotta get paid. They're projecting you in the top 5, top 2. You gotta go. Jeff Okuda. Sorry, Jeff. He was Jeffrey when he came in. Now he's Jeff.
Now he's Jeff.
Yeah, I'm a Jeff. I don't want to be called Jeffrey. But he announced. I mean, he's projected top 10. See a lot of mock drafts where he's going to the Lions. Sorry.
Yeah. That would be unfortunate for him.
Yeah. So, but so then you got J.K.
Yeah,
he's announcing, but I see mock drafts with him in the bottom of the first round. I mean, he had nothing left to prove here, except for helping win a national title. But
I think all 3 of those guys. I think there was no shock really from me or you. I think those guys all need to go right now. It's their time. They're going to make their most money right now. So it just made sense for them all.
Yeah, running back's an interesting position now in the NFL because it's almost like, unless you're Derrick Henry, there's really not like a 30 carry guy anymore.
No. Running backs are so. Each year the draft. It's not like there's a standard right now. You had one year where Zeke went 4th. And then the year after that, I don't think there was even a running back taken in the first round. So, it's just, you just never know with what's going to happen.
Yeah, my only concern with J.K. is his pass protection.
Yeah, that is one thing that he definitely is going to have to work on in the NFL.
Yeah, to be like a 3-down back. Anymore, it's like really not... It's not really a traditional third down back anymore. There's this change of pace guy, but there's still, you still got to carry. You still have to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield, and run that little angle route out of the backfield,
that little swing route,
swing route. You got to be able to help stretch the defense.
Yeah,
in different ways, but you got to be able to pass protect.
Yeah, I think J.K. is. I think bottom of the first round. I think is probably a fair spot for him to be projected. He could have a great workout and probably put himself up into the teens maybe, but I still think that's probably a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I was thinking where would be a good fit for him. The Texans have other needs.
Yeah,
but they always need offensive linemen, but to help protect Deshaun,
which was made clear yesterday's game too. That was really bad. But
they got by, but he got sacked like 7 times, 8. So but JK's from Texas. That would be kind of
that would be a nice place for him to go.
Yeah. And Carlos Hyde's kind of like on the back end.
Yeah, he's probably just about done. So. I think that would be a good spot for him.
Yeah. So seniors, we got Damon Arnett, Malik Harris. Malik Harris.
Yeah, Malik Harris.
I was thinking of the other
Baron Browning.
Jordan Fuller, safety.
Yep.
Brandon Bowen. And Jonah Jackson.
Yeah, because he was a grad.
Key starters, say, key starters that are leaving. But we also have, Devon Hamilton in there too. He's a starter. Yeah. They rotate so much. It's hard to sometimes tell who's a starter. But Devon Hamilton, Robert Landers, I say BB, they always call him. And then Jay Sean Cornell. So we got 4 4 defensive linemen leaving, and
wide receivers. We had quite a few, I think, who were seniors.
Yeah, it's hard to believe Benjamin Victor's a senior.
Yeah,
but he is. So Benjamin Victor, KJ Hill, Austin Mack.
Yeah.
So I mean, Rashad Berry, but he was kind of like a rotated tight end. He was 4th on the depth chart, but they all kind of rotate in. They play.
Right.
There's quite a few times that they'll go with some 2 tight end sets.
Yeah.
But
but he was usually if they went to the 2 tight, it was usually Rucker and his name escapes me right now. I'm sure you
Farrell.
Have yeah.
Rucker and Farrell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake Hausman saw some time this year.
Yeah, he saw a little bit.
Yeah, so but yeah, they got like 3 returning tight ends. Then we got a kid coming in the recruiting class, a tight end, Joe Royer.
From Cincinnati. Yeah.
So they're all right in that position. So yeah, I mean, it seems like they're all right in a lot of positions. Really.
Yeah, I think we're going to be
reload.
Okay, so. Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, even the kid for Brandon Bowen at right tackle, they got transitioning here into like depth chart for 2020. So it looks like, I mean, Nicholas Petit Ferrer.
Yep.
He got a lot of time this year. It's number 78, redshirt freshman. I mean, he got a lot of time. He'll probably be the leading candidate to replace Brandon Bowen at right tackle. Left guard's going to be interesting. Like,
So for me, I think what they're going to do is Harry Miller is a highly recruited center, but Josh Myers played so well. But I think Harry Miller's so good that they're going to want to get him on the field. So I could see him transitioning into that guard spot.
Yeah. True freshman Harry Miller. I don't know if they'll redshirt some of the guys.
They could, yeah.
It depends because the redshirt rules. If you guys don't know, like the redshirt rules are much different than they used to be. The guys can
play 4 games, I think.
Yeah,
and still redshirt.
A lot lot more leeway than they used to, which is real nice, especially when you have like blowout games. These guys can get some mop up duty and just get some little bit of experience, but never really see the field versus big time games and still hold on to a red shirt if they want. So. Josh Alabe, well, he was a senior, so he's gone. So
when it comes to right tackle, you mentioned Petit Ferrer, which I think is a possibility. What I think they may do, and I could be completely wrong, they have Paris Johnson Jr., who is the number 1 tackle in the country.
Oh yeah,
coming in here now. He is a traditional left tackle, but Mumford is going to stay. I don't think they're going to put him in at left tackle because Mumford has earned his spot there. But I think what they may do is have Paris Johnson Jr. play right tackle just so they can get him on the field.
Okay.
And then so he can transition back into left tackle in 2021. That's, I think, what they may do. I could be wrong, but if it were me and he was the number 1 tackle in the country, I would want to get him on the field as soon as possible.
Right. Yeah. Paris Johnson Jr. is rated a 5-star. Ranked 7th in the country overall.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's for a left tackle, and then they also have another Luke Weipler coming in.
Yeah, Luke Weipler. I've got him on my projected depth chart as backing up Josh Myers because he was also the number 1 center prospect in the country. So I've got him as a backup to Josh Myers.
Mike has a little bit better knowledge of the recruiting class than I do. I'm kind of like okay on like recruiting. Like I'll hear it out, but I'm not going to go and dig that much. I'm just kind of like ratings are ratings. It's kind of neat.
I'm just a giant nerd whenever it comes to that stuff. I don't know why. It's just something that I started doing. So
yeah, I don't poo it, but I'm also kind of like
and I don't say that just because a kid is a 5-star that just automatically means that he's going to be a All-American. That's not. I mean. That's not how it works. So,
they got offensive line. Luke Weipler out of New Jersey was a 4-star. They got that guy coming in. They also have Josh Fryer out of Indiana, a 3-star. Beech Grove, Indiana. Yeah, some of these 3-stars, they just they rave about them like they're underrated.
Yeah.
So Grant Tautant?
Yeah.
Toutant? I don't know. Out of Warren, Michigan. And yeah, Jacob James out of Cincinnati. A couple Cincinnati guys.
Yeah, Toutant was a late add to the class. He kind of came on the radar late. He might be worth keeping an eye on. So I don't know a lot about him. I read a little bit. He just sort of had a flare up in his senior year and sort of got on the radar of some teams. So we'll see what he actually turns out to be.
Yeah, there's like 5 Cincinnati kids.
Yeah,
they're 3, 4, 2, 3,
and then
5. Yeah, 5
they're actually recruiting that pretty well down there. Fickle better get a net and put it around the city down there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh wait, 6 because they got a kicker out of Cincinnati.
Seibert, yeah.
Jake Seibert.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were actually counting him or not.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Second page here.
Yeah.
And they got another offensive lineman, Trey Leroux.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I haven't read that much on him.
Brother of Lash Leroux.
Speaking of brothers, there is Ty Hamilton from Pickerton is actually Davon's younger brother. So.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, so Ty Hamilton has it in his genes to be something special, so we'll see.
So going to the defensive side of the ball and who we lose. So JK's gone. We think Teague
probably
takes
Teague.
over.
Yeah, Teague's going to take over.
It's like Steel Chambers. And,
I actually had him on my depth chart. I had Teague and Steel Chambers 1A, 1B.
And Crowley looked. I think he got hurt or something.
Actually, he might have actually redshirted, I think.
Okay, so it's going to be a battle for running back. They got some talent. Master Teague's kind of north and south. Doesn't have a lot of wiggle. No. Chambers and Crowley have a little bit more wiggle.
Yeah, they have some more speed too, I think, than Teague does.
But, Teague's strong.
Yeah, Teague runs hard, man.
Yeah. So they got coming in. They got a kid out of Cincinnati, a 3-star Mayan Williams.
Yeah, he's actually the only running back in the entire class.
So they know they got 3 guys that are capable. So they bring in just another one. Quarterback, of course, we're going to have Fields back. He's only a sophomore. Yeah. And, of course, Gunnar Hoke and Trish Chuganoff.
The backup spot, I think, is going to come down to 2 true freshmen.
Yeah. C.J. Stroud out of Rancho Cucamonga. One of those great California names.
Yeah.
4-star C.J. Stroud and Jack Miller.
Yeah.
Scottsdale.
Yeah. If I had to choose one, I've seen them both on film. I think Jack Miller's probably a little bit more polished right now. Because C.J. Stroud really had a great senior year, but prior to that, he wasn't on anybody's radar. So Jack Miller's been committed since he was 16 here. So so he's been he was one of Ryan Day's first kids that he started to actually reach out to back when he was just the first year OC. So he's been Jack Miller's been under Ryan Day's wing for a long time. So he probably has a leg up to be the backup next year. So
16.
Yeah, it's 16.
At least it wasn't middle school.
Yeah. Who was that? Lane that actually
probably.
Yeah, it was probably Lane Kiffin that actually recruited a middle schooler. I know it happened at some point. I think it was Lane Kiffin whenever he was at USC. So
Zane, I'll bring up a funny Lane Kiffin tidbit. So like when he was in Alabama, did you ever hear the Joey Freshwater story?
I don't think I ever did. No.
So there was rumors that he would go out to Alabama campus bars in incognito and try to pick up chicks under a name
Joey Freshwater.
Joey Freshwater.
That's
so. Which is man. So that Joey Freshwater is one of the best incognito names.
You know what is so funny is you can almost picture Lane Kiffin in a wig and a fake mustache, pair of fake glasses, just wandering around trying to hit on college girls. Man, it's just you can actually picture that because he's such a douchebag. You know,
it had to have happened. It's just too
that's too funny to not be true, man. It's just too wild.
What's up? I'm Joey Freshwater. Where are you from? Somewhere.
Here and there.
Yeah.
I'm around.
So,
what a moron. God. Joey Freshwater.
So, Yeah, that's as good as Michael Vick's. Michael Vick used to use a name at hotels.
Oh yeah.
Ron Mexico.
I do remember that story.
Also a great like incognito name, Ron Mexico.
I do remember that story.
So anyway, back to the depth chart here. So we got defensive linemen leaving.
Yeah,
early graduating, stuff like that. So we got guys like Tommy Togai.
Tommy Togiai.
Togiai,
who is from Idaho, the only Buckeye to ever come from the state of Idaho.
Yeah. Then we got Zach Harrison, who's got a lot of playing time. He actually he had like 280 snaps.
That's outstanding. That's great.
And that's the most by a freshman in quite a long time.
Can you believe that Zach Harrison was close to going to up north?
Oh, wow.
They almost got him. And he's from...
Olentangy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from Olentangy. Yeah. And they almost got him to go up north.
Yeah. Tyler Friday played big this year. Yeah. Sophomore, Tyler Friday. Zach Harrison's true freshman. Tyreek Smith is a sophomore. These guys have a lot of room to grow. They stick with Larry Johnson. I mean, the world ahead of them.
Jonathan Cooper is going to redshirt and be back. So
yeah. Just Jonathan Cooper. He kind of had a medical redshirt.
Yeah, he had a medical redshirt. So I think you're probably looking at Cooper.
18, Jonathan Cooper.
Yeah, you're probably looking at Cooper and Harrison, who have the inside track to be your starting ends, I would guess.
You got Javonte John Baptiste. We saw him on the field, number 8.
He had a couple of nice plays in some games. So
Malik Harrison's gone. The rest of the linebackers are back.
Yeah, we spoke at length about the linebackers last week.
Yeah, we don't know if Justin Hilliard, he was trying to get a 6th year.
I don't know if he did. They kept on asking Day in his press conferences towards the end of the season, and he never had any updates on it. So I don't know what the final standing was for that.
Yeah, Baron Browning's back. Kayvon Pope, who we saw a little bit.
Yeah, he had a couple picks, or he had at least one pick during a game.
Yeah, he got a mop-up time. But still, hey, Taraja Mitchell is a guy who always seems like eventually he's going to break out. That dude has some size and speed, and maybe it's just some gap discipline.
I think he's just stuck in the depth chart right now. I don't know if he's ever going to make it up.
As I give a frustrated.
Yeah, I know, because you're so frustrated that he's stuck behind Tough.
Saraja Mitchell, sophomore. So we'll see, man. Maybe they'll open up this competition, and we'll see. So
and just real quick, if we are talking about the incoming class too, there will be a true freshman named Court Williams, who is a stud out of California, who I think is gonna fight for some serious playing time as a true freshman.
Yeah, so we got Cody Simon, Court Williams, down to 3-star Mitchell Melton, Maryland. 3 guys that were coming in.
Mitchell Melton I'm surprised that he's a 3-star. He's got some really good tape. So
they like they get those 3-star guys, and they're like kind of sneaky, like really 3-star. All right, sweet. Like kind of like fly under the radar a little bit. Yeah, some of these big schools like just overlook them. Yeah. So secondary
Shaun Wade is going to be back.
Shaun Wade is back.
Yeah, so, which is a huge deal. So
it's huge. Redshirt sophomores have a real hard time breaking into the NFL.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's just a little too much too soon. So glad Shaun Wade made that decision to come back. He can be the captain of the secondary next year.
Yeah.
Fuller, Okuda, Arnett are gone. Josh Proctor coming in. He'll be a leading candidate to take over free safety.
Yeah.
So Cameron Brown back, those guys, Banks.
Yeah, I think Banks and Shaun Wade are probably going to be your starting corners next year.
Yeah.
And then now, what is going to be interesting is, are they going to move Shaun Wade to the outside, or are they going to keep him where he played so well at the nickel corner? So that'll be interesting to see what they do with him.
Yeah, and they have an awesome defensive back class coming in.
Are
any of these guys going to be able to break too deep?
I don't know. The only one that I think might, as far as corners go, is probably Ryan Watts, who's a kid out of Texas, who is, for a corner, he is 6'3", and he is a corner. So.
Yeah, you don't see 6'3" corners. There used to be a little bit more of a thing, because back in the day, 21 with the Eagles, Taylor, Bobby Taylor?
Yeah, Bobby Taylor
was a 6'3" corner.
Yeah.
You used to see a little bit taller of a corner.
Yeah, usually you're like the biggest corner now is usually around 6'1" tops.
Yeah, right.
But I know Ryan Watts is 6'3", and I think he's like 205. So I mean, he's good size. So he has a chance to slide in there to a starting spot or even just some serious playing time.
Yeah.
And as far as I just have one more note on the incoming class. There's a kid named Legend Cavazos who is listed as a corner, but I think he's going to play safety here. So he may get some time too. So just someone to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Punters, kickers, those guys all return. Long snapper, Liam McCullough. Long snapper is like way more important than anyone ever gives.
Yes, it is.
If you don't have a long snapper, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, you need that.
So Liam McCullough graduates. What's funny is his younger brother takes over for him.
I know, that's really neat, man. Just keeping it in the family.
Rowan McCullough, sophomore, comes in, takes over for him, which is hilarious. So Drew Chrisman and Blake Hobbiel are back. We get a kicker in this class.
Jake or
Cincinnati is supposed to be a stud, but
Jake Seibert.
Blake Hobbiel did nothing this year to make him, even doubt him. So,
no, Blake Hobbiel's on good standing.
We didn't go over wide receivers. There's studs in this class.
Yeah.
This is a crazy stud wide receiver class. Julian Fleming out of Catawissa, Pennsylvania. Jackson Smith, Najiba, wide receiver.
Najigba, yeah. He's from Texas, I think.
G. Scott Jr., who is like, gets a lot of pub online. I mean, all these... Mookie Cooper, 4-star, like all these guys.
Yeah, this was the best wide receiver recruiting class in the country by far. So you are going to see. So just really quick, because we're running a little short on time, but I would expect Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave to be your starting outside guys. Jalen Gill may slide into that KJ Hill role from the slot. And then, but I think Julian Fleming is going to definitely see the field next year. The kid's too good to not see the field.
Yeah, these guys, they don't look like high school seniors. They look like they're in the middle of their college careers, the way they're built and everything. So, and Mickey Marotti's only going to help that. So
keep an eye on, so just remember those names. Fleming, Smith, Najigba, and G. Scott are all going to see the field next year. So
they're going to be this year's Garrett Wilson. So and there's 3 spots that open up in that rotation. Victor Mack and Hill are gone. So it's awesome. So a lot to look forward to. Come spring game will be really interesting. That might be a really nice spring game to go to.
Yeah, that actually might be one to go.
Yeah, as long as they don't put flags on it. So anyway, that wraps up this episode. We're available on just about all formats.
We're on. I think the only one that we're not on yet is Stitcher, but I think that's the only one that we're not on yet. But you can find us on every format now. Yeah.
So go look for us. Do we have a Facebook page?
We don't have a Facebook page.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
No, we're not really worried about a Facebook page. But if you want to get our Twitter, and we have a Instagram, but full disclosure, I don't think Jeff or I really know how to use
for all the
Instagram.
Sorry,
we don't know how to use that. We're still trying to figure out how to use Instagram.
It's not like not know how to use. I'm an IT guy, so I can figure it out. But it's just like, how does it even
benefit
a podcast?
Yeah, I don't know that it really does.
Maybe we'll put something out there eventually.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just kind of like it's Twitter. Put links on Twitter. People find us. Click links. Put some stuff out there. It's like,
and we're always going to do our best to get this up and running the same day that it is recorded. So it should be up by this evening. So hopefully it's Sunday night and you are listening to it. So
find us on Twitter if you have ideas, suggestions for the podcast. We're open to them, as long as they're not, make us drone on about anything, or we're just trying to keep the topics moving, keep it interesting, make it relatable. We want to get into some off-season stuff. We'll get to basketball. We'll also maybe we'll get into some like kind of talk of us, like fan talk about like Ohio State football history.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like stuff, just recap like stuff that history. It kind of like it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
kind of make us laugh in hindsight, or so some of the stuff that's just kind of relatable that you would talk about with people at work or your friends and stuff like that. So eventually maybe we'll get some, other people on this podcast to contribute. Kind of early ideas to make it kind of like the fans podcast.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
I think it'll be fun.
We're kind of open-minded with suggestions and way we want to format this thing and keep it moving and keep it evolving. So
yeah, please, if you have any kind of thoughts, suggestions, you can put them in the comments of our YouTube, or you can send us a tweet. And again, do you want to give the Twitter handle real quick before we go? Beyond Buckeyes.
If you just search Buckeyes and Beyond, you can find it too.
Okay.
And Twitter, just follow. We don't put a ton out on Twitter. Just let you know when the podcast next one's coming up, topics, stuff like that. So subscribe on YouTube.
All right. So that'll take care of it. Thanks for listening, and we will get back with you guys next week. Thanks a lot.
See ya.